Hey, this is Chandra. Today, we are going to look at the AWS pricing model. This is going to sound crazy, but there are 26 ways to purchase compute capacity in AWS. I'm going to try to simplify these options for you and when you should use them. AWS pricing is broadly based on number of hours of compute used each month, how the compute capacity was purchased, storage used, data transfer, and the price also varies by region. For this exercise, we'll use the AWS Pricing Calculator. It is available at calculator.aws. This tool is helpful to estimate the cost of a solution that you're going to deploy on AWS. Let's create an estimate. You can use this to add relevant services that are part of a solution to estimate the total cost. Let's now look for EC2. The EC2 service allows you to launch virtual servers, which are commonly referred to as instances. In general, instances run on a multi-tenant physical server. So a single physical server could have instances belonging to different AWS customers. You also see the EC2 dedicated host option here. This is useful when you want a single tenant server. That is, entire physical host is dedicated to you. Now, why would you want to do this? The only scenario where this is useful is when you want to bring your own license to AWS. For example, you already have an existing enterprise software license that you would like to use in the cloud. A lot of times, these licenses are tied to physical sockets and cores. By using a dedicated host, you can comply with those licensing terms. For this exercise, we'll primarily focus on the EC2 option and choose Configure. We need to specify a region. I will use Ohio for this example. And select Advanced Estimate. The price varies based on the operating system. Let's use Linux. And we are going to estimate for one instance. Now, we need to specify the type of instance. Let's look for M5. These are part of general purpose family of instances. On demand is the default pay-as-you-go pricing model. Let me adjust the columns so important details are visible. Click on the gear icon and turn off storage and current generation columns. AWS publishes an hourly rate, and you are billed only for the duration your server instances are running. More powerful instances cost more money. For example, M5 Large comes with 8 GB of RAM and 2 CPUs. The hourly pricing is around 10 cents. The Extra Large is twice the size, and the price reflects this. The 2X Large has 32 GB of RAM and 8 CPUs, and the hourly cost is 38 cents. Even though the pricing is listed as an hourly rate, AWS bill in increments of 1 second with a 1-minute minimum. So if you run a server for 32 minutes and 15 seconds, you are billed precisely for that duration. We'll use a 2x large instance for this exercise. This is quite a powerful instance. Now, if you use another OS, you'll notice a higher hourly charge due to licensing fees. For example, let's select Windows. The price for M5 2x large is now 75 cents per hour, almost double. And for Red Hat Enterprise Linux Server, the hourly price is 51 cents. Let me switch back to Amazon Linux. AWS has several pricing models for purchasing compute capacity. Let's start with on-demand. With on-demand, you can start and stop servers when needed. There is no upfront payment or long-term commitment. If you expand the calculations, the total cost for an M5 2x large machine for 1 month is $280. We'll take a look at storage costs later. So for now, let's change it to 0 And if you scroll down, we can add this to our estimate. And here is the summary. The monthly cost is $280. And if you run this server nonstop for 1 year, you would end up paying $3,300. This is going to be our baseline, and we are going to compare other pricing models. Let me add this to a spreadsheet. On-demand pricing model. The monthly cost is $280. Annual cost is $3,363. And the 3-year cost is almost $10,000. Is this good or bad? We don't know yet. I guess that's why we are going to call this as our baseline. Let's go back and edit our estimate. If you are running a production application in AWS, the chances are you might require a few servers 24/7 for the next several months or even years. For these steady-state and predictable usage scenarios, AWS offers a reserved instance pricing option. Let's choose all reserved. Now, here is where things go crazy. There are 12 different ways you can purchase a reservation. The first choice you need to make is the reservation term length. You need to commit to either a 1-year or 3-year term. And in exchange, AWS offers a substantial discount or on-demand pricing. The reservation is also tied to a region. That is, if you purchase a reservation in the Ohio region, you will need to launch the server in Ohio to get the discount pricing. To be clear, if your reservation is in Ohio, but the server is running in any other region, you won't get the discount pricing. Reservation is technically a billing benefit. AWS looks at your monthly on-demand usage and applies a reservation discount for the covered usage. Let's start with a 1-year term. And then the next choice we need to make is there are 2 types of reserved instances. Standard reserved instances. The convertible column shows a no, so it's a standard reservation. This one provides a discount of up to 72%, and it is instance family specific. You are free to change the instance type within the same family. For example, let's say we purchased an M5 2x large reservation. But then, the day after we purchase the reservation, our developers want to use extra large instead. In this case, the 2x large reservation will cover the usage of 2 M5 extra large instances, or up to 4 M5 large instances, and so forth. These instances are part of the same general purpose family. But if you want to use a different instance family, for example, C5 compute optimized instances, your existing reservation will not cover it. So, standard reserved instances allow you to change the instance type in the same family. The convertible reserved instances, on the other hand, provides a slightly less discount. The benefit with convertible option is you are free to change instance family. So, for example, if you purchased a general purpose M5 2x large reservation, but your developers change their mind and want to use compute optimized C5 2x large, you can modify the reservation to this new family. One drawback with reserved instances is that you cannot cancel it. You need to pay for the reservation term whether you use the servers or not. For this reason, AWS recommends that you monitor your environment for steady-state server usage and then purchase reservations to cover the steady-state use. So do not purchase a reservation if you are just getting started in AWS. Just run some workload in production and then see how your usage is, and then make a reservation. Let's start with a 1-year standard reservation. You can pay everything upfront for a maximum discount, or you can pay partial upfront and rest as equal monthly payments. Or you can also choose no upfront payment and pay everything monthly. Let's go with the no upfront option. So the selection we have made is 1 year standard reservation and no upfront pricing. Let's save the changes. The monthly charge is now $176 and the annual cost is $2,120. Let me add this to the spreadsheet. And let's include the 3-year cost as well. We need to renew the term every year. With the 1 year reservation, we are able to save 36% over on-demand rates. Now, let's look at how these numbers would change if you make a reservation for 3 years. And save the changes. Now, there is a much more significant drop in the cost. Let's add to the spreadsheet to compare. And we see a 57% discount over the on-demand rates with 3-year reservation. Now, with the data we have, on-demand appears to be more suitable for short-term use. And it gets expensive when you need the instances for continuous use. On the other hand, reservation is ideal if you run the instances continuously for 1 year or more. But the drawback with standard reservation is the lack of flexibility to change the instance family. With the convertible reservation option, we are indeed allowed to change the instance family. Let's compare the cost for convertible instances. We'll start with 1 year convertible and no upfront pricing. And then let's repeat for 3-year convertible and no upfront pricing. The convertible reservation, as we can see, is slightly more expensive than standard, but it is still much less than on-demand pricing. So, reservation is an excellent option for long-term and continuous use. To purchase a reservation, you can go to the EC2 console and select the Reserved Instance option. There are a few things to consider when reserving instances. You are committing to a 1 year or 3-year term. You need to decide on a region. And you also need to decide on the operating system and instance type. That's a lot of decisions to lock in. What if you need the flexibility to use any region and any compute type? AWS is continuously refining their pricing plans. So, to simplify things, they complicated by adding one more purchasing option, savings plan. The EC2 instance savings plan is identical to standard reserved instances. The compute savings plan is the most exciting option that offers a slightly smaller discount with far more significant benefits. The biggest advantage of a compute savings plan is it applies discount for covered usage irrespective of the region, instance, family, or size. So, if you move your workload from Ohio to Oregon or any other AWS region, you will still benefit from the discounted pricing. In addition, this plan also covers AWS services that offer serverless computing. For example, with Lambda and Fargate, you can run your code without provisioning servers. You simply specify the memory and CPU needed for running your code, and AWS provides the required resource. The serverless compute charges are based on the duration your code runs, and if you are enrolled in a compute savings plan, you also get a discounted pricing. So, a compute savings plan is a great option that is future-proof, as it can easily handle your application and business changes. Let's compare the cost now. Choose EC2 Instance Savings Plan and select 1 year and no upfront option. Let's add the price to the spreadsheet. And let's repeat for 3 year and no upfront option. As you can see, the price for the EC2 instance savings plan matches precisely with the standard reserved instance. Let's now check the compute savings plan. 1 year and no upfront, and then 3 year and no upfront. And if you look at the numbers, the pricing for this plan in fact matches precisely with the convertible reservation. So what exactly is the difference? The compute savings plan offers far more significant benefits than a convertible reservation. Here it covers usage in any region, any instance, family, and type. In addition, it also covers serverless compute usage. In my opinion, savings plan appears to be the future of AWS pricing, and they may start phasing out reservation option. Another advantage of a savings plan is you can commit to a specific dollar amount of usage. Let's go back to the EC2 console and select Savings Plan, Purchase Savings Plan, and then select Compute Savings Plan, and specify the commitment term. And here we can specify an hourly amount that we want to purchase. Let's say you're currently spending $10 an hour on on-demand instances. You can cover that expense by purchasing a $4 savings plan. You can also specify a fraction of $1. Finally, AWS is also customizing savings plan for specific services. For example, there is a SageMaker savings plan to reduce your machine learning usage costs by around 64%. This benefit also covers all regions, instance families, and size. Now, the next question is, how do you figure out the dollar amount to commit? So, AWS recommends that we use the Cost Explorer tool, which is available in the billing dashboard. We can view the on-demand usage using this tool by selecting More and Purchase option. My account usage is spiky, and I currently use only on-demand and spot instances. The Cost Explorer can use this information and see if you can save some money with a savings plan. Select Recommendations. Choose the type of a plan. This tool can analyze your historical on-demand usage over a 7-day, 30-day, or 60-day period, and then recommend a savings plan. It ignores temporary spikes and focuses only on steady-state usage. In my situation, the usage is so low and unpredictable that Cost Explorer is not recommending any option right now. AWS recommends that you periodically review your usage and purchase small amounts of savings plan over time to match your workload and organization requirements. So, to be clear, instead of making a bulk purchase of a savings plan, just commit in small amounts over a period of time. That will allow you to rapidly adjust to changing workload and changes in your organization. Let's now see if a payment term would make a significant impact. To simplify comparison, let's get rid of standard and reserved pricing and use only savings plan in the spreadsheet. We already have numbers for no upfront pricing. So let's add 2 more rows for partial upfront and all upfront. Select EC2 savings plan and 1 year partial upfront. With this option, we need to pay around $1,000 upfront and then $84 per month. So our annual cost with this option is an upfront payment plus 12 monthly payments. The savings are now at 40%. Let's also try all upfront payment. With this option, we have to make a one-time payment of around $2,000, and that covers your 1 year usage. Now our savings go up slightly to 41%. Let me repeat this for a 3-year plan. Savings go up to 60% for partial upfront and 63% for all upfront. That's a pretty decent increase in savings, but I will leave it up to you to decide. So, for long-term use, you should definitely consider a savings plan and then decide on an appropriate payment term. Let's now look at the spot instance purchasing option. When AWS has unused capacity available, they offer them at a steep discount of up to 90% off on-demand pricing. We can see the historical spot price trend in the EC2 console. Select Spot Request and Pricing History. Change the instance type to M5 2x large. And let's view 3 months history. The line at the top is the on-demand price, which is 38 cents an hour. The 3 lines below are the spot prices by availability zone. The spot price is only around 9 cents. The price does fluctuate based on demand and supply in each availability zone. So you can specify a maximum spot price that you're willing to pay. So what's the catch? Why don't we simply use a spot instance for all our needs? The main problem is AWS can terminate a spot instance with a 2-minute notice. That is, your workload can be interrupted at any time. This can happen when AWS does not have enough unused capacity, or when the spot price is more than what you are willing to pay. There are ways to minimize such interruption. When requesting a spot instance, we need to specify a maximum price we are willing to pay. AWS recommends that you set the maximum price to the on-demand price. This will rule out chances of interruption due to price changes, as the spot price will never reach on-demand price. The historical spot trend shows that price fluctuates only marginally, and you'll be billed only the current spot price irrespective of the maximum price you set. The second aspect is, there may be a lot of demand for a particular family and size, whereas unused capacity may be available for another family. This is similar to booking an Uber ride. If you insist on a black Mercedes, the availability may be limited and it may take time to fulfill the request. However, if you are open to using any car, your ride will arrive much faster and at a lower cost. Now within EC2, there are several instance types that have similar capabilities. So key points to remember when using spot instances are: to increase the likelihood of fulfilling a spot request, be flexible to use different instance families, types, and sizes. To minimize interruption, set the maximum price you are willing to pay to the on-demand price, and you are charged only the current spot price. Your application also needs to be fault-tolerant. That is, workload can safely continue in another instance when interrupted. When you combine Spot with other services like autoscaling, you can automatically replace an interrupted Spot instance with another available Spot instance. According to AWS, the average interruption frequency is less than 5% across all regions and instance types. This number sounds pretty good to me, and you should certainly consider Spot instances where appropriate. Now, let's see how much we can save with Spot purchase. The monthly cost is only $67 now, and the annual cost is $800. Surprisingly, among all these purchasing options, the Spot has the highest savings potential. However, you can use this option only if your software is fault-tolerant. With the data we have, let's assess the compute cost for a few scenarios. The first scenario is we need servers for a short-term project. Let's assume the duration is 3 months. The Spot is lowest at $200, followed by on-demand at $840. Savings plan, on the other hand, requires a minimum 1-year commitment, and the cost is over $2,000. So, if the application is fault-tolerant, we can go for a Spot. Otherwise, on-demand is the safer option. For the next scenario, let's say we need the servers for 1 year. Spot once again trumps all other options. For workloads that cannot tolerate interruption, we can go with a savings plan. On-demand is definitely not a good choice for continuous long-term use. And for the final scenario, we need the servers for next 3 years. Here, as expected, the spot is first, followed by a 3-year savings plan. Now, in case if you are wondering how I came up with the number 26 for the number of purchasing options, let me show you the calculation. One each for on-demand and the spot. For reserved instances, we can purchase it in 12 different ways. 2 different term lengths, standard and convertible, and 3 payment options. So 12 possible ways to make a reservation. Similarly, for a savings plan, we have 2 different term lengths, EC2 and compute savings plan, and 3 payment terms. When you add all these, we have 26 different ways to purchase compute capacity. And I did not include operating system in the mix. Let's now check the EBS storage and data transfer pricing. Now, these prices are independent of how you purchase compute. If we use a 30 GB storage for the server, it is going to cost $3 per month. Now, we can also include periodic backup and snapshots, and that is going to add another $6. So the cost for 30 GB storage with periodic backup is $9 per month. Let's now look at the data transfer pricing. Inbound data transfer from the internet is free. An example of this scenario is an internet request going to your web server. Let's plug in 100 GB of inbound traffic per month. Similarly, inbound transfer from another region is also free. So, in these cases, the cost is 0. For intra-region transfer, there is a 1 cent charge per GB. An example of intra-region transfer would be your web server talking to an app server, or app server talking to a database, and so forth. All these servers will be located in the same region. So we need to consider the intra-region transfer now. Now here's the thing. We need to count both inbound and outbound traffic at each server. For example, if 2 servers exchanged 100 GB of data, one server sent 100 GB and another server received 100 GB. So $1 for sending server and another $1 for the receiving server. And we have a $2 monthly charge. The outbound transfer to the internet is 9 cents per GB. An example of this is a web server responding to a request over the internet. If a server sends 100 GB of data per month to the internet, it will cost $9. The outbound transfer to any other region is 2 cents per GB. Let's do a recap. The on-demand option is excellent for short-term usage. For steady and predictable usage over 1 year and 3-year terms, you can use the reservation and the savings plan. In my opinion, the savings plan is the future of AWS pricing and offers excellent flexibility to future-proof your purchase. Many AWS customers use Spot instances for web servers, app servers, and Hadoop Task nodes. This allows you to add substantial compute capacity for a super low cost. The data storage and data transfer costs are independent of how you purchase compute. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do like and subscribe to the channel. Here are a couple of questions for you. Please provide the answers in the comments.